Leger. Good start from Luca Martin in the centre of your screens. Matisse Azaro, though, powering his way towards the bottom of the climb first. Mathieu van der Poel on the right-hand side. Look at that sea of riders behind him as they head up the hill for the first time.
Yeah, and we're straight into the course proper. No short lap. Big climb, 2 4-minute climbs, and this is the tough. It's a big winch all the way top wide, and it's Azaro, sorry, who's taking the lead.
Azaro in that French national champions jersey with Martin and Boischy close behind him, as they've been all season long behind him. Avendetto in the Italian national champs jersey. Martin Vidare's up in there as well. Yeah. Schwarzbauer on the left-hand side of your shot now as well in the German national champs jersey. Yeah. Round the outside, though,
Schwarzbauer and Aldridge. Aldridge after that flat tyre, just moving up the outside.
Mathieu van der Poel in the centre of your shot now, just moving through the left-hand side in the middle of the pack.
It's really important for these riders. It's wide for quite a long period of time. You can move up, and then we go into the woods. And if you're not in the front of 10, it's going to be a bit of carnage.
Van der Poel in fourth currently, and Ollie, this is a new one for these three young Frenchmen at the front. Boischy, Martin, Azaro, been battling each other all season long. Now all of a sudden they are in with one of the superstars of not just cycling but of world sport. Wow. A lot to process, but they'll be relishing it as well.
Chatting to Bjorn Riley in the week, and he was just looking forward to banging bars with essentially one of the greatest cyclists of all time. And I think all these racers look forward to racing and want to race Mathieu van der Poel. If you're going to beat him, I think it just makes that achievement even the better.
Oh, Schwarzbauer, Matisse Gay and Bjorn Riley. Oh.
Yeah, Matisse Gay just holding that one. I
thought we were about to see
going
something
over the front
truly awful there, but Matisse Gay managed to hold it. But Bjorn Riley getting tangled up in the divider tape, manages to just about get away with it, does he? The number 13 bike, the Chilean national champion.
And the riders absolutely
skim that pad on the way past. And there he is, Matisse Azaro, out of this one. Ill this week. The newly crowned French national champion. Not feeling it. Keeping his powder dry for next weekend, perhaps, in Val di Sole.
Yeah, he gave it a go, but wasn't to be. And
yeah, maybe, as you say, Ollie, maybe just clever to not press that one and make himself even iller.
Yeah, if you race, sometimes you have to race sick. You've been preparing for one event and you just roll the dice. But with the Worlds next week, the right thing to do is to, if you're not 100%, is call it a day and recover as quickly as you can.
I tell you what, this pace of Adrien Boischy is working. Yeah. The top 5 are now just ahead of this chase group. Aldridge, Pinchard, Flukiger, Lilo, Schwarzbauer in it. But the top 5, as you can see on track, there's that little bit of daylight between them.
It's all those sections that will add up over the race.
2 seconds covering the top 5 at half race distance here at the 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Leger. Luca Martin of Cannondale Factory Racing leads the way.
But how impressive. I know we've mentioned, but I'm going to mention it again. Look at Mathieu van der Poel. This is Luca Martin, in my book, the fastest descender, and this is a 50-metre drop.
Look at that strain, 17.2 already. It goes up to 21, 179 beats per minute.
I'd be feeling the strain dropping down behind Luca Martin on this descent.
Yeah, I wouldn't see which way he'd gone, but
he's following. You know, he's got the speed. He's following through this section.
Looks comfortable, doesn't he?
Really good.
As is Luca Martin now.
Yeah, Martin attacked.
Yeah, he's twisting the throttle now at the front.
Just going over that false flat. He wanted to lead into descent. This is a proper attack for Martin.
Lap 6 out of 8. Now it starts. Now things are going to get rowdy from here to the line. As one by one, these riders are going to throw absolutely everything at each other in Leger.
Yeah, this is going to be a fast drop down the hill. And it's on these loose corners. Not this bermed one, it's the next one. It's just off camber, drops away.
It's a nasty little turn that the drone sort of struggles to do the drop off there. Justice and camber. That left-hander, but now the cracks are starting to show.
Yeah, Vidara, is that acceleration by Luca Martin going into the woods. Boissy and Van der Poel could follow, but Vidare and Avendetto just had to let the wheel go, and it's 3 seconds now.
Tell you what, Van der Poel almost half-wheeling Boissy at times on this climb, really putting them under pressure, making his presence felt. And look at Vidare just rolling back onto the back of Mathieu Van der Poel.
Avendetto just swinging on the back a bit, and he's pulling some faces. Winner of the World Under-23 Championships back here in 2022.
Adrien Boissy leads the way and seems comfortable doing so, Ollie, just as his teammate Sina Frey was in the elite women's race. Not backwards and coming forward.
But Boissy, he's that big engine tempo rider, and we saw him in Lenzerheide, also in Leogang as well, just setting this pace at the front.
I mean,
just putting the other riders under constant pressure.
Whatever you use the phrase, big tempo, big engine. There's another rider in this front group around about third position at the minute that you could probably level at too. But
did you watch the last stage of the Tour de France?
Yeah, it's pretty good, wasn't it?
All right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Luca Martin now just on those steep corners. He wants to lead into the woods. He wants to get into the front for that descent.
Martin refusing to give best to Boissy.
Look at this now, the pressure from Luca Martin. He wants to stay ahead of Boissy. Van der Poel just fights to follow.
Avendetto in agony at the back of this, trying to hang on.
This is going to be a fast descent through this one.
It's just getting strung out. There's bike lengths appearing, half bike lengths appearing. The pace is going up at the front thanks to this attack from Luca Martin.
Martin straight through that A-line, through all the other riders picking that same run through, trying to straight line it, and the key is carrying speed onto this next ramp and then into the descent. It's all about that momentum.
Can you theorise at all about what the tactics would be here in this group? Are they going to go from deep? Do they want to, I guess, not arrive onto the last half, the last lap of Mathieu Van der Poel in the group? How do you deal with a problem like this?
I think the key climb is that the first climb of the last lap. I think Boissy's going to go first, and I think it's Luca Martin who's got a bit more of a punch to try and keep up.
Fans absolutely being treated here now. Mathieu Van der Poel goes to the front.
So we're off that false flat section, putting the power down, and he wants to lead into the woods and lead into that descent.
Boissy scrambles to keep up with him. Martin distance ever so slightly. It's all still to play for, but for the time being, Mathieu Van der Poel leads here in Léger on lap 7 out of 8.
And this is one of the steepest climbs. It kicks up into the woods, and then it's techie and physical all the way through.
They're going to take the bell after they go through the tech feed zone.
But Boissy took the lead again in the rock garden.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting if this comes down to a sprint.
Big move from Adrien Boissy in the rock garden as he leads them across the line. Paul Sixas for the Decathlon CMA. CGM rings the bell. Another man happy to watch Mathieu Van der Poel at his work, and they'll have to take him on. Here we go.
And Boissy goes.
Vidare now up out of the saddle in 4th place. And now Boissy goes again. Adrien Boissy attacks up the top of the climb. Luca Martin looks like he hasn't got an answer for it. Adrien Boissy lights the blue touch paper in Léger.
This is the steepest section. Van der Poel looking to go around Luca Martin.
As Dario Lillo takes the bell and heads out onto the final lap. What's happening at the front? It's still Boissy up the top of the climb. It's Van der Poel in second, and look who's gone with him. Vidare. Martin has dropped back to 4th now.
Look at Van der Poel, he's clawing back. It took him a while to get round Luca Martin, but he's got back on the wheel. Martin Vidare has also covered that move. But Luca Martin has dropped back.
Van der Poel getting lower and lower over the stem of that canyon. Vidare, there's Yolanda Neff at the side of the course, roaring Luca Martin on. But the top 3 are getting further and further away from the young Frenchman who won here last season. And a mistake from Avendetto. He all clips, the cracks are starting to show. Is in 2nd place. That man on your screen now, Alpecin Premier Tech's Mathieu Van der Poel.
It's Boissy accelerating out of that corner, but good descent by Van der Poel. He's managed to hold the back wheel of Boissy.
Vidari starting to get further and further distance. It's still 5 seconds between Vidari in the front of the race. The rider in third at the minute. Luca Martin is trying to close in the back of Chilean. Here the overtakes. Watch Boissy here. Pops through the rocks and then slams the door on Van der Poel. That will not be forgotten for the last run through there.
And also as well, if this comes down to a sprint, that'll be some overtake.
What a move that is from Adrien Boissy. We saw him pull it on Luca Martin earlier in the race, but to do it to Mathieu Van der Poel.
Boissy goes again on this false flat. He's putting the power on. Look at the gap now. Vidari's blown.
Yeah, Vidari's gone. Vidari's gone. Luca Martin rolls past him. We wondered, we thought Martin Vidari might be a factor at the endless race, but it's boiling up to be a head-to-head fight between Adrien Boissy of Specialized Factory Racing and Mathieu Van der Poel of Alpecin Premier Tech.
Boissy puts down the power. What has he got under the tank?
There's a spot here on the right-hand side. We saw Luca Martin attack on last year.
There he goes.
Van der Poel, wise to it though. Boissy stands. Now Mathieu Van der Poel has to come up with some answers. Boissy asking the questions. Adrien Boissy keeping Mathieu Van der Poel at bay, but not by much. Look at the crowds at the top of that climb, absolutely loving this. The young French hero taking on the superstar.
They come round the corner, they hit that last climb, then you're into the woods. Can Boissy get a gap?
And look at these two just hanging on. A fight to the grim death between Luca Martin and Martin Vidari. Martin mouth open, gulping in air. Avendetto's behind them now. They're coming into play for third place.
But we know the punch and the kick, the sprint that Mathieu Van der Poel's got, but he's just got to hang on to the, if he can hang on to the wheel and get to the grass.
18.7 on the strain scale on the Whoop Live, 162 beats per minute from Mathieu Van der Poel. We know a Tour de France stage is around about 19 on that scale, so Van der Poel throwing absolutely everything at it. Boissy has a slight gap now. This is starting to pay off for Adrien Boissy. In the descent, needs the descent of his life here if he wants to keep the Dutchman at bay.
See, Van der Poel is only losing a few metres, but he's got that grass section.
Van der Poel is going to have to. I don't even know what he's going to have to do to get past Boissy here, but whatever he's going to do is going to be spectacular. You can bet your mortgage on that.
But this little bit, I think he will get back onto the wheel now. He's got the power, but he's going to burn some energy to do it.
Boissy knows that he cannot make a single mistake from here to the finish line. Van der Poel needs to get caught back up, needs to get onto the back of the young French rider. Van der Poel closing the gap now as ahead of one of the steepest corners on the circuit.
Look at the speed of Van der Poel. He's taking a metre out of Boissy, but Boissy accelerating around the corner onto this false flat.
Boissy pushes, grinds. This could be the biggest victory of his young career so far. Mathieu Van der Poel wants to turn the clocks back 7 years. He's got a bit of work to do if he's going to do it. Boissy through the rocks for the last time. Just a start finish to go. Adrien Boissy is going to beat Mathieu Van der Poel at his home UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. Take a bow, Adrien Boissy. Mathieu Van der Poel is vanquished in second place. What a result from the young Frenchman.
That last descent from Boissy, they got the gap, and that proved significant. What a bike race.
What a bike race. What a day of cross-country racing here in Ligier. One of the best to ever do it. Mathieu Van der Poel going toe-to-toe with Adrien Boissy. Third place is going to go to Martin Vidari. What a ride from him. Fourth place, Luca Martin hangs his head, knows he was in a fight today, as does Simone Avendetto.
Yeah, that front group of five, hats off to them all, and hats off to Mathieu Van der Poel, coming back into mountain bike, getting in the mix, fast on the descents, but Specialized first and third.
A third career win for Adrien Boissy, now equal with his compatriot Luca Martin. A 12th career podium for Mathieu Van der Poel in elite cross-country Olympic UCI World Cup racing.
Adrien Boissy, I cannot put it into words. Can you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I grew up being a massive fan of Mathieu, and I have seen every time I see him on TV, yeah, he's special. And to think that I was able to have a fight with him and all the others today is something I remember forever.
And something you should be so proud of, the way that you went on that race and how aggressive you were. Was that the plan from the start?
Yeah, I mean, I always go to the races with not really a plan and just see how my legs are, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
The fifth Frenchman to win an elite cross-country Olympic UCI World Cup on home soil is Adrien Boissy, 7 seconds ahead of Mathieu van der Poel. And now the French have another home winner in Ligier, and it is that man. Adrien Boissy takes his first ever cross-country double. What a place to do it. And what a fashion to do it in. Here's how the overall looks after that. Just 15 points between Adrien Boissy and Luca Martin now at the top of the overall. Bjorn Riley's in third.